Hi. The government of a human being, the government of a humanity, or of a humanity. Chapter 1. It is a message directed to the human child, to that small heart that will one day carry the features of the entire world. Your mother is not only the one who nourishes and warms you, but she is also the first to plant the seed of consciousness within you and to instill the ethics of the government of humanity. A government not built by laws or walls, but by your ability to see humanity in every human. But your ability to see humanity in every human. This ability lives in the soil of your mind, yet its root extends into the unconsciousness, accompanying you without your awareness, rising within you when you falter, and reminding you of who you are and who you must be or who you must become, even if the world around you changes. Chapter 2. In your own self reside the government of humanity. It plants the seed of consciousness and engraves ethics. We have said in Arabic, teaching in childhood is like engraving on النقش على الحجر، مثل التعلم في الصغر مثل النقش على الحجر. Learning during childhood is like engraving the stones. It will be permanent. Thus, you become both ruler and subject. You enact laws and build ministries, and you do not slag, for your government is only an individual. Just as the philosophers did, you are both a ruler and legislator. Chapter 3. The Ministry of Education. It is the most important ministry in the government of humanity, known as the Ministry of Knowledge, the source of knowledge. In Iraq, the Ministry of Education, it used to be called the Ministry of Knowledge, not education. It encompasses education in schools, the teaching of history and geography, the rise and fall of empires, the philosophy of ethics, virtues, and the highest ideals, the philosophy of law and religions and their origins, the philosophy of the universe and healthy living, noble and truthful living, as well as literature, arts, music, dancing, exercises, the science of physics, chemistry, biology, technology, and mathematics. Chapter 4. The Ministry of Justice. It is the ministry of truth and the application of justice, first with yourself and then with every other being. It seeks balance and calm and applies wisdom and the highest ideals. Thus, your decision become closer to the truth. Because in fact, when we study philosophy, there is no truth. We reach near the truth because always there is something outside in the world, and then what we see is the shadow of the truth. My goodness. Yes, I should put it off. It seeks balance and calm and applies wisdom and the highest ideals. Thus, your decisions become closer to the truth, and when you live the skill of happiness and self-respect. Happiness, it is a training on every day to become happy. It is a skill. It doesn't come automatically. And started by practicing the philosophy of gratitude for what we have. Depression, anxiety, and mental illnesses diminish. Your life values increases, and you sleep in peace. For you are honest and wise. No injustice, no excesses. Your life is truly worth living. Socrates said, a life without asking why, without learning, without thinking, it is life not worth living. But your life, it will be a life truly worth living. So chapter 5, the Ministry of Planning. It is the ministry of restructuring the thoughts of mind. And this came from the idea by translating the book Mind Over Mood and the other book How to Control Our Emotions, Emotional Intelligence, Emotional Maturity. And now I'm translating the book of Cognitive Behavioral Therapy. So this is from this book, it comes to my mind. For the mind is above energy, emotions, and behavior, and it determines your destiny in the future. The past is in the past, is only memories. Now, what we do now, it will determine our future. Possessing emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, you become your own therapist according to the cognitive behavioral therapy. Planning your future rationally, overcoming emotion and building your thoughts on solid foundation. Okay? So this is the government of humanity. The Ministry of Defense. This government is of one being, of one person. It is the strength of your immune system within you, dividing it into innate immunity, which is fast, effective, and non-specific, and adaptive immunity, which learns and adapts. You see, the immune system we divided into two: the innate immune system, which is the blood and its various blood cells, and it is we inherited from our ancestors, and it attack viruses, bacteria, toxins, any foreign body immediately, fast, general. It is not specific, not like the adaptive part of the immune system, which adapt to the foreign bodies, and it is specific. The antibodies, which consist of protein, which are folded, if we see it in a 3D shape, it will fit like this. It fit on the virus when it comes inside it. Exactly. It is tailored, like when you do dress, tailored for your size. So, it protects you from any assault and swiftly counterattacks invaders. But vitamin D is its regulator. Vitamin D, it's called hormone. Why? Because it is produced in the cell by the action of the sunlight, ultraviolet light B, on cholesterol in the skin. So the skin produces vitamin D. So it is just like an endocrine gland. It's just like thyroid, testicle in the men to produce testosterone, ovaries produce estrogen, progesterone in the females, beta cells in the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas to produce insulin. This is all endocrine gland which produce hormones and go directly into the blood. So the skin, it is considered also as an endocrine gland because it produces vitamin D. because vitamin is usually we take it from external sources through the diet, but vitamin D we can make it, so it is a hormone. It is redefined as hormone from sunlight, and to providing you with strength, the strength of the bones, and protection remains within you, so fear no attack. Chapter 7, the Ministry of Energy. When I mentioned the Ministry of Energy with the group I work with yesterday, Saturday morning, they start laughing. Why? Because I told them, do you know what is the Ministry of Energy? They said no. So I said it is the mitochondria of your cells, because we call it the powerhouses in our cells. It is the power sources within every cell, producing energy daily equal to your weight. So if your weight 60 kilogram, you generate 60 kilogram of chemical energy, which we call ATP, which is adenosine triphosphate. Adenosine is a group, chemical group. Tri in Latin means 3. Phosphate or phosphate group, contributing to the power grid of another land. Now, this way. So, this ATP, it is produced on the inner membrane of the mitochondria by using the oxygen which we breathe with the electrons from the food, and there are 4 protein complexes, and the 5 there is nanomotor which rotate. It is 36, but it will rotate 120 degree, then stop, produce 3 units of ATP, then 120 degree, and then so in each rotation it will produce about 9 ATP. And this is all at the nanoscale. And I said it contributes to the power grid, because in developed countries, when we put panel to collect the sun and make energy, and if we produce a lot of energy, electric energy, then we can sell it to the national grid and get money. So this is the idea coming from. It's coming from this idea. And gaining what you need for sustenance, you need not rely on oil or gas. And this is, I'm talking to our people in Middle East. You don't need it, because you will have your own energy and you have the sun shining in your cells. And you remain free, for the sun above you and the oil beneath your land. Leave it for those in needs. Leave it. Let them steal it, let them take it, don't worry. For you are the new human, aware of your worth. Chapter 8, the Ministry of Digestive Tract. This is very important, the gastrointestinal tract, because we have a saying in Arabic, al-ma'datu bayt ad-da. The stomach is the house of diseases. So in fact, it is the most vital ministry in the government of humanity, the foundation of all ailments caused by toxins leaking into the body. These toxins travel through the bloodstream, and the bloodstream is abundant and vigilant, guards the walls of the digestive tract. Within its wall lie immune cells, like watchtowers in the embassies of occupying forces. The blood in the wall of the digestive tract, it contains the cells of the innate part of the immune system, as well as the antibodies of the adaptive part of the immune system. But also in the tissues surrounding the digestive tract, there are cells, which are immune cells. And they watch, even in the lining of the colon, they have just like telescope to look inside the lumen of the gut, honestly, to see what toxins, what bacteria, what virus. And this I give a metaphorical example, because after I didn't go back to Baghdad and my country Iraq for 27 years. Then when I went there, I saw big building, very wide building, and very high walls, and then there are watching towers, and the soldiers, I don't know, in the top watching the people walking in the city. So our immune cells in the wall of the gastrointestinal tract, it watches for bacteria, viruses, and toxic materials. Yet fear not, for you will be a self-sufficient government of one, not besieged by food and medicine, as Rome besieged Carthage millennia ago. During the Gulf Wars, there was a mandate from the United Nations to stop food and medicine to Iraq. And this caused the death of millions of children and a lot of starvation and diseases, and especially cancer, because the air, the soil, and water were polluted by the atomic stuff which they throw in the country, and it is all very, very large amount. So I don't speak about this now, but I speak about the history, because during the Roman Empire there was another empire which is small and rich and beautiful, which is called Carthage, in Arabic Qartaja, and now it is Tunis, the capital of Tunis, on the ocean. And they used to be very rich because they do trading with Rome. They sell them a lot of stuff and they get gold and silver. But when there is empire high, like the Roman Empire, they don't want anybody to compete with them. So they attack that Carthage. And in fact, there were 5 wars. And during one of these wars, they make mandate they should not buy any weapon to protect themselves. But these people, they are clever, so they start to buy weapon secretly, they thought. But there are so many people, traitors, they give news to the Roman Empire. So they become angry, and they come and they destroy the country completely. They took all women, children, to make them slaves, and kill the men, destroy building, cut all the trees, and then put salt on the ground. So then I say, history repeats itself. So do not be surprised, because your surprise comes from not having read the history. History repeats itself. When I read a book about human civilization, always there will be wars, always. When you see a peace, they are preparing for another war. This is what is written in the book. So, your surprise comes from not having read the history. We always get surprised, why this happened to me, why this happened to me. It doesn't happen to you only. It is all through human history. It happened in the past, it happened now, it will happen in the future. So, the main thing, you have to be prepared. Prevention is better than cure. But the essence of wars lies in natural resources, as Plato in his book on justice, in his Republic, which is a book named Republic or Ideal State, you know this Republic from the perspective of ethics, but our Republic or our government, we see it from the perspective of physical, mental, psychological, and spiritual health. It will be, this is your government of humanity. Chapter 9, the Ministry of Heart and Circulatory System. It is the Ministry of Transportation and Transport, carrying oxygen and nutrient, carbohydrate, protein, and healthy fats. You see, I see government, the body as government, from my lenses of medicine. So, this will transform into fundamental building blocks, this food, tiny particles like those that make up the universe. Yet 85% of the tiny particles that composes the universe remain unknown to us, and we call them dark matter because we do not know them, and thus we consider them dark. This universe, 85% is, we don't know what is the particle which composes. So we call it dark matter because it is dark in our, we don't know till now, but the research is going on. Only 15%, which make the material like the galaxies, the suns, the stars, everything in the universe is not one universe, 15%, but the rest is the dark matter. So what I think is our body also contains dark matters and particles which we don't know. So we'll do research to find out. And this is true. So I believe that our bodies too will contain some dark matter because we are part of this universe. But you will be content with what you know. For your research and build a scientific center like CERN. C for Charlie, E for Echo, R for Romeo, N for November, between Geneva in Switzerland and France. And I have visited this center with a group of people from UK. And it is under the ground, about 100 meters, and the temperature is zero, absolute zero, which is in Kelvin, minus 267 Celsius, because at that temperature the particles will not vibrate, and they could put detectors to detect these small particles. When this is a tube, few kilometers, many kilometers, and then they make it a quick half the speed of light. But then at other stage, when they start to divide, they make the particles to transported with almost the speed of light, and then it start to divide, and then it will produce the effect. And they can see the effect by machines around this tube, like X-rays, to study these smallest particles of the universe. And at that time when I went, there were about 700 scientists from all over the world, but now more, thousands from China, Germany, Europe, everywhere. So they come to help each other and to study the data and the information. So you will investigate the particles of your own body, for it contain all the atoms of your government, its ministries, its leadership, its armies, and its united people. It is only one person. Chapter 10, this is the end. I will enter your government and learn within it as a human child. The best way to teach is to make the difficult material very simple, as if you are teaching a child. When I want to research something, I will put the subject and that for beginner, for children, honestly, because then it will be explained in simple terms and which I understand it, not jargons. No, I want to understand it. The problem is not only knowing, the problem is to understand and to become clear in the mind, and then you can explain it to a child. This is the top of learning and education. The top. When you understand a difficult topic and then understand it inside your brain, then explain it like for children. So until everything become clear. How it become clear? Because I need to focus, understand, and remember. It is very important to learn is to focus, understand, and the memory. I will not be ashamed to admit my ignorance when I don't know something. I will not be ashamed. Why should I? I don't know. It is okay, because I will learn. So, there will always be things I do not know. And that is good, because I will keep asking questions and I will keep learning. Thus, the priestess in the temple Apollo, which is called Delphi, in fact, in the old Greeks, Delphi, it chose Socrates, the only one wise man of Athens. Why? Because he asks why, and because he knows he doesn't know, He knows he is ignorant. He said, I'm ignorant, but I know I am ignorant. And thus, he continues to learn. This is, in fact, the difference between the educated and the uneducated. The educated, the wise, they are still ignorant because there are so many things to learn and nobody can learn everything. But they know they don't know the subject, for example, which is higher subject, different from the others. But the uneducated and the ignorant, they think they know it all. This is a very important point. So, and that is why they condemned him to drink poison, which is called hemlock, and it is from plants, because his accusation was that he corrupted the youth minds. And so he drank the poison. Why he drank the poison? Because he knew how to apply law, justice, and ethics, and he applied them to himself, drinking the poison according to these ideals or despite these ideals. He has to, because his wife, children, they come crying, his rich friends, they said, we will get you out of the prison. He said, no, I have to apply the law. The court make a decision, I have to do it. Because he defended himself by the Apology, which is written by Plato. But they accused him. They said, no, you distract the young people. So he left behind his wife, children, and his friends crying to mourn, yet his name remained eternal throughout the history. So does every fighter for truth and ethics. I do not want you to die, nor do I want you to merely live. I want you to live healthy and for a long time, free of pain, free of disability, free of illness, and with all the skills of happiness that you practice daily. Thus, we have activated a healthy and just government of humanity, and it will be replicated in another human, spreading effortlessly like a tsunami that sweeps shores, cities, and mountains when the water rise above sea level. And just as your spirit will rise and your boundaries will expand. Thank you. I hope you understand the main points, and goodbye, as I enjoyed it. I did it in Arabic this morning, and now it is in English version. Thank you. Version. Thank you.